Now on CoastTV News.
The first ship through a channel has been opened in the wreckage of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. What that means for Baltimore and what's next.
The Fenwick Police Department might be acquiring some new equipment that might help the community.
The city of Lewes hosting Delaware's first marijuana commissioner. The different details that were shared in the presentation today.
Dredging coming back to Ocean City, how long it will last, and what's the priority?
And look for it to feel very frosty on Friday during the morning hours, but there's a plot twist to the temps by the time we get to next week.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Marijuana still up for debate in the city of Lewes. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Mallory Metzner. Welcome to our News at 11. We begin tonight with the state's marijuana commissioner speaking up in Lewes.
The first town is the only town along Sussex County's coast that hasn't made a decision yet about what to do with recreational pot. And today the state marijuana commissioner was looking to help them with that decision.
Coast TV's Charles Reinert shows us the biggest takeaways from the presentation today.
The clock is ticking for Lewes City Council to make a decision on if and how they will regulate marijuana businesses in town limits. The city just has a few more months to make their choice.
I want to make sure they have the information they need.
To help them along in the process, Delaware's first marijuana commissioner, Robert Koop, gave a presentation that broke down the current law and what the recently legalized plant means in the first state.
I felt like from the questions they were asking me that, they were prepared. They're kind of dialed into the topic. They see both sides of the discussion, the debate, and whatever they decide, I really think they're giving it the proper thought and really considering all the options.
Under state law, towns have the authority to ban marijuana-based businesses, like shops or growing facilities, in their jurisdictions. Multiple towns along the coast, like Rehoboth Beach and Bethany Beach, have already chosen to say no to pot. Lewes City Council members asked a lot of questions Thursday, from how much money the state would make in sales tax to what would happen if they chose to not take any action at all. While the clock is ticking for the city of Lewes to make a decision, the Office of the Marijuana Commissioner also has some big dates coming up, with the closest one being July 11th. And that's when the state is looking to adopt regulations for licensing marijuana businesses. I'm Charles Reinert in Lewes, Coast TV News.
With all that in mind, let's go ahead and check in on our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what should Lewes prioritize in its marijuana policy? Let's
look at the updated results from earlier tonight. It looks like 48% say regulation, but a close second, accessibility. That's got 39% of the vote there.
Now, if you haven't voted yet, there's still just a little bit of time to do that. Go to coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. And new tonight, the first cargo ship has successfully left Baltimore Harbor following the Key Bridge collapse in March. It's a sign that recovery is moving forward at the key U.S. port. The Balsa 94 cargo ship left the city's harbor Thursday morning alongside two tugboats. The trip went through a new temporary channel that was made around the wreckage. The Maryland Port Administration says the channel will likely be open for 4 days-ish, about 4 days. Officials predict a permanent channel that will be open and available within the next 5 to 6 weeks.
In Lewes, the mayor and city council talked for over an hour this morning about changing the gross receipts rental tax and adding a lodging tax. Let me walk you through it. For short-term rentals like Airbnbs or bed and breakfasts, the city is considering raising the gross receipts tax from 5 to 6%. The mayor said this is to level the playing field for these types of rentals. Hotels already have to pay an 8% state lodging tax, but that could change too. The city of Lewes is talking about adding their own 3% tax on top of that. One hotel owner told Coast TV that the current operating costs already make it difficult to run a small property. He says this extra lodging tax is a lot of money.
If I owned a hotel in Europe, I'd be paying 1% on my credit card fees. Here I pay 3 to 5%. And I could just go through a long list of you would be astounded at how much we pay in fees and taxes now. And our utilities have doubled in the last 4 years here in Lewes.
No decisions were made. The mayor said the next step for the lodging tax could possibly be adding it to a future agenda to discuss sending it to public hearing.
New at 11, a woman in Ocean View has been arrested for assaulting an unsuspecting senior citizen. According to Delaware State Police, Regina Bonaquisti, a 48-year-old woman from Ocean View, marched up to a 66-year-old woman sitting in a car in a driveway and attacked her, sending the woman to the hospital and damaging her car. This all happened on Tuesday night around 7 p.m. And get this, apparently the woman who was attacked doesn't know Bonaquisti. Wednesday, she was arrested and charged with second-degree assault and other crimes. The investigation is ongoing.
Taking a live look outside into Lewes, it's a bit cold out there tonight, so let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams, who joins us now with a look at the weather. Good evening.
Good evening, Mallory. I'm going to play on your words. It's not just going to be a bit cold. It's going to be a gigantic bite of cold by the time we get to tomorrow morning. I'll show you that in just a moment. Our Bay Health camera in Milford right now, although the focus is a little fuzzy, but we still have temperatures that are going to fall to the lower 40s. Now, notice how clear we're expecting it to become by specifically 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll eventually get it out. Frost advisory widespread for all of Sussex. This means we're dropping down to 34 degrees. If it's not literally 34 degrees, it's going to feel like 34 degrees. But you have tender vegetation. You need to bring it in because it's going to be that kind of cold, reminiscent of a typical winter morning. No snow, no ice, but really cold. Now, the funny part is next week, it's going to feel like summertime. We're going to talk about how crazy and wacky the weather's going to be, so you got to stick around for that one, Charlie.
The dessert at the end of the meal. Fenwick Island police officers, they are looking to add some new equipment to their department. The police chief asking town council for money to buy life rings for police cars and personal flotation devices, or what are called PFDs, for police officers. If this gets approved, the department plans on adding life rings in each Fenwick cop car. The chief says PFDs, like a life vest, would be ready for officers to use when entering the water.
Money well spent. I think that's a small fraction. You can't put a price tag on somebody's life that's out there.
If the life rings and PFDs are approved by the council tomorrow, the chief says that Fenwick Police Department will have that equipment ready for summer use.
We have new photos tonight of an accident from this morning in Georgetown. Take a look at your screen. The Georgetown Fire Company says it happened after 7 a.m. on Route 9. You can see the pickup truck had ran into the guardrail, and the guardrail is lying on the roadway in some of these photos. You can see the traffic backed up there too. That slowed the morning commute.
I'm Madeline Overturf, and here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. Dredging will start on or near Monday in Ocean City. The Army Corps of Engineers will focus on the Assateague Shoal and 2 priority areas in the Ocean City Inlet, as well as the Isle of Wight and inlet channels. Work is set to start around Monday and last 2 weeks. Salisbury is closing Monticello Avenue for a week. The city says it's for paving. Work will go Monday, April 29th through Friday, May 3rd. The city of Cambridge is fixing sidewalks through a new pilot program. People who own property in town, have a sidewalk that's not up to code, but also are in good standing on their taxes can request help. The city will then hire and pay qualified contractors to do that work. That's a look at some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Madeline Overturf.
Another blockbuster day at the U.S. Supreme Court. The justices heard arguments over former President Donald Trump's claim of total immunity from criminal prosecution for his alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
The justices questioned hinted at they may reject Trump's claim, but in a way that delays the federal trial against him. Karen Kafa explains from Washington.
The U.S. Supreme Court hearing historic arguments Thursday over former President Donald Trump's claim of absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts as president in the federal election subversion case against him.
Without presidential immunity from criminal prosecution, there can be no presidency as we know it.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson pushing back on Trump's attorney's argument.
If the potential for criminal liability is taken off the table, wouldn't there be a significant risk that future presidents would be emboldened to commit crimes with abandon while they're in office?
Justice Brett Kavanaugh pressing the arguments of special counsel Jack Smith's office that there is no constitutional reference to immunity for former presidents.
It's not explicit in the Constitution, but also executive privilege is not explicit in the Constitution.
A middle ground ruling by the court could kick proceedings back to a lower court and further delay the trial of Trump on federal charges that he attempted to subvert the results of the 2020 election. But the court also weighing the implications for presidents beyond Trump.
You also appreciate that we're writing a rule for the ages.
The oral argument, stretching nearly 3 hours, took place while Trump was in New York, where his trial on criminal hush money charges related to the 2016 election continues.
A president has to have immunity. If you don't have immunity, you just have a ceremonial president. You won't have a
The Supreme Court could issue a ruling in the immunity case at any time before the end of their term in late June. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
We have a lot more news to get to this evening.
Fixing up the boardwalk, meet the Rehoboth Beach employee who keeps the boardwalk in tip-top shape.
And also, framed through artificial intelligence. When I say you will not believe the details in this story, I mean it. You're going to want to stay with us.
And tomorrow, you'll be shivering and or sneezing. I'll update you on the allergy index and the latest frost warnings next. We'll be back in just 60 seconds.
On Coast Life, join us as we celebrate Arbor Day with a local tree planting event and celebration at a local elementary school. Plus, meet our adorable pet of the week who's looking for a forever home. Tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
I had a pain in my armpit. I found a very large lump.
When we got the call back that it seems to be breast cancer, everything kind of crumbled.
And you're young and you have a family and you don't know if you're going to live. You don't know. I mean, you don't know anything.
She was one of the patients where we could take cutting-edge science and turn right around and apply it to our clinic the very next day.
Bay Health is unmatched, I believe. I can't thank them enough. They saved my life.
All new drill.
2 words. Janet Jackson.
You changed the world. I didn't want anyone to know that I was a Jackson because I wanted to make it on my own.
Friday at noon on Coast TV.
Well, I think Mr. Rogers said it best. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. But you'll need to bundle up. You'll need to bundle up. All right, our Irish Eyes camera in Lewes. We're staying clear. Hey, we see the little wind thing happening right there. That's actually a beautiful shot. 43 degrees. Let me stay focused. Okay, what's happening? Temperatures are going to stay in the mid-40s, but we're going to drop dramatically as far as how it feels because it's going to be clear and we'll have light winds. So first of all, let's set the stage. We only warmed at 55 degrees, 60 in Ocean City, but relatively low bar for the high today. That sets us up for an opportunity for temperatures to fall below the norm. We have a frost advisory in effect. We have a flow of air coming out of the northeast. We have light winds, and we have hardly any cloud cover. All perfect setups for radiational cooling. Other things we want to kind of let you know about. We do have the coastal flood statement that's active until 6 o'clock in the morning for Dorchester because of the tides. But then let's talk about this cold air. We actually have freeze warnings in effect for up here in New Jersey. Now, I know I don't usually talk about New Jersey, but I'm trying to make a point here because we have a freeze warning right next door to our frost advisory. So we're in the same general vicinity of the cold air that's in place throughout the entire Northeast that's affecting everybody. We're just on the outskirts of this cold pocket of air. So we're already in the 40s right now. We're at 43 in Lewes, Milford, 42 in Redden, Georgetown, Del Mar, and Milton. So let's get ready for the gym tomorrow. You better take the hoodie and you better take the hat because it's going to be definitely chilly, if not downright cold. Here's what it's going to feel like. 39 in Seaford, and I'm expecting to feel like 39 everywhere. I think the model is being generous on how warm it's supposed to be. And same holds true for us on Saturday, but we're still going to feel the 40s, which is still below the norm. Take a look at the trend. We went up to like 74 on Wednesday, dipped back to 55 for Thursday, and we're going to stay in the 50s to, well, we're going to start off in the morning time chill because we're going to be at 39 in Millsboro and Georgetown, for example. By the afternoon, we'll recover to the mid-50s, which is where we want to be, actually a little higher than that. We have more moisture in place Saturday with temperatures in the 40s. That extra moisture is going to make it feel a little better, a little fuzzier, as I like to often refer to it as, when we have more moisture in the atmosphere. And the winds are coming out of the southeast, which is going to help increase the moisture profile of the atmosphere and make it feel that much warmer. Now, what won't be helpful is the sneeze cast. Trees are extreme, weeds now on the board, and grass is going from moderate to high levels. So now you have three main concerns for your allergies. And so we'll have temperatures in the 40s as we go into Saturday, but once again, that moisture content is going to be on the high side, so it's going to make it feel better. But Friday morning, although sunny, cold in the morning time. Same holds true for us in Ocean City, high of only 53 degrees. And then finally, in Cape Henlopen, 55, sunny, but cold in the morning. Here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling extended forecast. By next week, everybody's going to be my best friend, starting Monday.
Yeah, I really like that beach weather coming up, Paul. Rehoboth Beach has one employee responsible for fixing the boardwalk. Rick DeGrassi brought his 30 years of carpentry experience here in 2020. He says there's about 12,000 boards on the boardwalk, so this job keeps him pretty busy year-round as he works in any weather condition. DeGrassi turns 59 in the summer, and he told Coast TV he hopes to do this job until he's 70.
God willing, I'd like to do this till I'm 70 years old. So I'm going to be 59 this summer, so hopefully another 11 years.
New tonight, some of the things that artificial intelligence can already do are scary, and when directed by people, they can veer into the criminal.
Follow us here on this story out of Baltimore County, Maryland, where a school's athletic director attempted to frame his principal by using AI to create a fake audio clip.
And get this, the clip led the public to believe that the former Pikesville High School principal made racist comments behind closed doors. Tommy Clark has the story.
As you can imagine, this has been a very difficult time for Pikesville High School community, Principal Eiswert and his family, and Team BCPS.
Baltimore County leaders addressing scandal in their school district. A highly circulated audio clip that sounds like removed Pikesville High School principal Eric Eiswert, now believed to be AI generated. The clip includes racist and anti-Semitic insults about students. Baltimore County Police believe former athletic director Dazon Darian is behind the audio, believed to be retaliation after finding out his contract would not be renewed due to performance challenges, including terminating a coach without approval and allegedly paying teachers under the table for helping him with his job, which is the subject of an internal audit. Charging documents state the audio clip was originally sent to a friend group of 3 teachers, including Darian. One of those educators admitted to police she sent the clip to news outlets and a student who she knew would spread the clip around. Darian originally denied involvement, but police have now connected the email address that sent out the audio clip to Darian's grandmother's home in L.A., with a recovery phone number being Darian's own cell phone. Police also had multiple experts confirm traces of AI with human editing in the clip and found that Darian had used the school network to search for AI tools, all this leading to his arrest.
Officers with the Maryland Transportation Authority took Mr. Darian into custody this morning at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport as he was attempting to board a flight.
Now, Darian faces multiple charges, including stalking and witness retaliation.
Rough week? Cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV. You can subscribe to the Coast TV Feel Good Friday newsletter for free. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. The newsletter has personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more, all sent straight to your inbox every Friday morning.
And next, the NFL draft is going on right now. All 3 nearby teams, Washington, Philly, Baltimore, with picks. Our DSN crew breaking them down.
Don't miss the Tempur-Pedic closeout event at Johnny Gymnastics Mattress World. Shop now and save up to 50% on floor sample closeouts from Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get a free gift for a limited time only at Johnny Gymnastics Mattress World.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Now get 1.9% financing for 72 months on select Ford F-150 models only at your local Ford dealer.
Are you dreaming of the perfect outdoor space where you can relax and entertain? Look no further than Delmarva's most trusted partner, Spicer Brothers. We pride ourselves on superior craftsmanship and only use the finest materials to create beautiful, durable decks. From classic wooden decks to low-maintenance PVC materials, we have the perfect solution for you. And right now, get a free Green Mountain Grill with your new deck. Plus, enjoy 0% financing with no payments and no interest for 18 months. Spicer Brothers, turning homeowners' dreams into reality for over 20 years.
For 30 years, I've been fighting for Maryland.
The man with the guts to stand up to Biden, Robin Ficker.
Biden's let 7.2 million illegals into our country. That's more than all of Maryland. I'll stand with President Trump to secure the border, declare war on the cartels, and ban welfare for illegals.
Veteran, conservative fighter, Robin Ficker for Senate.
I'm Robin Ficker, and I approve this message.
Don't miss the Beauty Rest Black closeout event at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World. Shop now and save up to 50% on Beauty Rest Black floor sample closeouts. Plus, get a free gift for a limited time only at Johnny Janosik's Mattress World.
Download the DSN app today, driven by Preston Automotive Group. This is Coast TV News at 11.
In sporting news tonight, the NFL Draft is the night where every single team has that one thing that powers every fan base, a little bit of hope.
Kayla Santiago has been following the picks, and we're going to her live now from the Delmarva Sports Network studios.
And how could we not be up for the NFL Draft, one of the most exciting times of the year? Jaw-dropping and history-changing. We see what our local teams can do. Now, the Washington Commanders, they had a top 5 pick, and they were at number 2. Josh Harris was busy tonight as he's the owner of the Commanders, and also his Philadelphia 76ers played in Game 3 tonight in the first round of the NBA playoffs. But, hey, he was all for Washington here this evening. And as so, the Washington Commanders able to do a lot of different things in the offseason. A very young team, but they would go with the second pick in the NFL Draft, and they would select Jaden Daniels, LSU's Heisman winner. The quarterback has a great command in the pocket and is perfect for the NFL with his playing style and his ability to run the ball as a quarterback. And for the Philadelphia Eagles on the other side, their biggest needs right now, the secondary position, the linebacker position, and that offensive line. Jason Kelce did retire, and so getting another young piece on that O-line could be key, but they decided to stick with the defensive side of the ball in their first round pick. Cornerback Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo, a great addition to the secondary and outside corner who shut down the MAC conference, has elite speed, ball protection, and timing, can play zone and man, had 0 penalties in last season and 1 in 2022. For the Baltimore Ravens, well, it's still a waiting game with them. They could go a lot of different ways. They need defense, but they could also go an offensive lineman or a wide receiver to help out MVP Lamar Jackson. They did just sign wide receiver Rashad Bateman to a new contract extension. But at the same time, we'll see where Baltimore goes. We're still waiting on their picks, so make sure you stay tuned in to the Delmarva Sports Network. It's been a fun night of the NFL Draft. The Commanders, the Eagles, and the Ravens all having a lot of fun and trying to make their teams make a difference. Live in the DSN studio for the Delmarva Sports Network, I'm Kayla Santiago.
Thanks, Kayla. Still ahead, the economy and inflation, what new numbers show and what those numbers mean for the average American.
And if you're so devoted to the game of golf and your tee time is tomorrow morning, despite the cold and the frosty cutting of the winds, you might need an intervention. But I'm not judging because we're all addicted to something. So here's your golf forecast for the fanatics who just can't get enough of that golf putt. Very frosty.
Show your home some springtime love during Johnny Janosik's Spring Home Sale. Refresh your home with Delaware's guaranteed lowest prices, plus instant discounts up to $1,000. But hurry, the Spring Home Sale ends Monday at Johnny Janosik.
Washington, D.C. is a mess.
There's no common ground.
The left, the right, they're just shouting all the time, and no one's listening.
What a mess.
But now who is going to clean it up?
It doesn't have to be this way. And it shouldn't be this way.
I've seen children that have behaved better.
Like you, I'm completely fed up. Enough is enough. Cut reckless spending, support our police, and secure the border. I'm Larry Hogan. I approve this message, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate to get stuff done.
Toyota is going all wheels in with fantastic deals on thousands of in-stock Toyotas ready for delivery. So visit your local dealer today for a great selection of vehicles, all with 2 years of no-cost maintenance included. Right now, get low 3.99% APR on an adventurous RAV4 or spacious Highlander. Get fantastic deals when you go all wheels in on your new Toyota. Let's go places.
When homeowners think of a kitchen remodel, they picture their house in chaos for months, eating out every night, and of course, a big invoice.
With Paul Davis, we have an easy kitchen remodel solution for a fraction of the cost. Our certified installers add 5 layers of hardwood over your cabinets with new doors and drawers to match.
And it's done in as little as 3 days.
Save Big 3 Ways is now extended. Get last year's pricing, pay nothing until 2025, and get $1,000 off now ending April 30th.
Call Paul Davis for a free estimate.
Hey Delmarva, this is MJ Laughlin with IG Burton Chevrolet in Milford, Seaford, Lewes, and Berlin. Drive off in a brand new Silverado with a whopping $12,000 in savings or enjoy finance rates as low as 0.9%. Prefer an Equinox? Get $5,750 in savings or enjoy 1.9% APR financing with no payments for 90 days. Details at igburton.com or stop by any IG Burton Chevrolet location in Milford, Seaford, Lewes, or Berlin. Nobody beats a Burton deal. Nobody.
Let Johnny Janosic help make your outdoor space more relaxing and enjoyable. Shop now and find huge savings on all outdoor furniture and accessories. Plus, take advantage of our great financing options. For a limited time only at Johnny Janosic.
Ozempic and Wegovy are some of the most popular drugs on the market, but it comes with a huge price tag, and now that's drawing some congressional attention. A Senate committee has launched an investigation into what it calls the, quote, outrageously high price of Ozempic and Wegovy in the U.S. The popular drugs made by Novo Nordisk are used for weight loss and diabetes. The Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions says Novo Nordisk routinely charges U.S. customers up to 15 times more for the drug than it charges customers in some other countries. In a letter to the company's CEO, Committee Chair Bernie Sanders pressed for details on how the price of Ozempic and Wegovy is determined. Sanders says the high cost of Ozempic and Wegovy could otherwise bankrupt Medicare, Medicaid, and the entire health system.
It hasn't even been a full week since Taylor Swift released the Tortured Poets Department, but it's already reached 1 billion streams on Spotify, and I've gotten a lot of those songs stuck in my head. According to the digital music service, this is the first album to do that, and that's not the only record the singer-songwriter has broken. The Tortured Poets Department is now the platform's most streamed album in a single day with 300 million. And while this is a record, it's nothing new to Swift. The 2 albums she passed to reach #1, her own albums, Midnights and 1989, Taylor's version.
Want to hear a quacking good story? On Friday, there was a delightful surprise at the Delaware Division of Public Health Lab in Smyrna. Look at these ducks. A flock of ducklings hatched. The staff discovered the duck eggs in the courtyard. The department says the ducklings quacked and chirped and added joy and camaraderie to the staff. And they said they organized a little parade to escort the ducklings to the nearby Lake Como.
That's just adorable there. The U.S. economy cooled more than expected in the first quarter of the year, but it remained healthy by historical standards.
Economic growth has slowed steadily over the last year, a positive for lower interest rates, but Fed officials have made it clear it's in no rush to cut those rates.
Ivan Rodriguez has the takeaways from the latest numbers.
The U.S. economy has been running hot since the end of the pandemic, but growth slowed in the first quarter of this year.
The economy is still trying to return to whatever the new version of normal is, and I think we're in that process now.
The economy remains shockingly resilient, unemployment is still under 4%, and consumer spending is robust. But some economists say those strengths could also make bringing down inflation more difficult.
The reality is that high prices are to some degree reflecting the strong demand for all kinds of things that is consistent with a robust economy.
Last week, the International Monetary Fund upgraded its forecast for U.S. economic growth to 2.7% this year, more than half a point higher than it predicted in January. The U.S. is currently outpacing other advanced economies, like many in Europe, which are expected to grow just 0.8% this year.
what the IMF is saying is that global risks are essentially balanced right now, meaning that we should not necessarily be bracing for the worst.
But the IMF warned strong growth can also result in an economy that's overheating and cautioned the U.S. Federal Reserve not to cut rates too soon. The central bank seems to agree, some Fed officials even suggesting rates could be on hold for the rest of 2024.
We're going to be stuck with higher borrowing costs for longer. This isn't all bad. It reflects the fact that the U.S. economy has remained more resilient and robust.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Protecting feathered friends when volunteers can fly to the rescue in the Cape and Lopin State Park.
The UV Index Weather Report is sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, somewhere to smile about.
$6 billion. The total economy of a small country. Now a cash grab for Fat Cat Delaware lawyers. Because Chancellor Kathleen McCormick is doing their bidding. She stopped a legally binding contract in order to grant them billions in legal fees. That's a $300,000 an hour cash grab for McCormick's future bosses, while everyday Delawareans barely scrape by. What does McCormick have to say about these Delaware Fat Cat lawyers? We've always had each other's backs.
Welcome to First State Chevrolet, your local hometown Chevrolet dealer.
Get 5.9 for 72 months and $5,250 off this 2024 Chevy Silverado.
5.9% for 72 months on a 2024 Chevrolet Trailblazers.
If you have a car or truck you're not using or thinking about trading, now is the time.
Sales, parts, service, body shop, and towing. All at one convenient location just 1 mile north of DMV.
We're First State Chevrolet in Georgetown, where we put you, the customer, first. Together, let's drive.
Our soldiers are heroes who protect our country. But when they come home, it's up to us to help our heroes. Now, during FH First Spring Into Giving campaign, for every $29 cooling system tune-up we perform, we'll donate that amount directly to Wounded Warrior Project. FH Fur Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical. Call 877-CALL-FUR or visit FHFur.com to schedule your $29 cooling system tune-up. And use hashtag SpringIntoGiving to share how you're giving back.
When you visit the Delmarva Design Center, you'll experience a selection of appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring all together in one showroom. The 10,000 square foot location has a variety of inspiring samples for any project size or budget. Your dedicated product experts and designers collaborate to bring your dream project to life. Come and see what the kitchen industry buzz is all about. Experience the Delmarva Design Center in Selbyville, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva's coast.
Discover why Gateway Subaru is Delmarva's destination dealership, earning our customers' trust and exceeding expectations. No matter where you live, experience the Gateway difference with our no-pressure sales approach and fair, honest pricing. Plus, Gateway has more in-stock Subaru inventory to choose from than other dealers have combined. Need service fast? Our quick service lane is always ready. No appointment needed. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
DenRec says it's looking for volunteers to help protect beach nesting birds. That includes piping plovers and American oyster catchers. The agency says these volunteers would be stationed on the boundaries of nesting areas to let beachgoers know why it's important to close sections of the beach to help the nesting birds. A training session is on Saturday, May 4th from 10 a.m. to noon. Meet at the Officers Club Mess Hall.
All right, our Spicer Brothers camera in Salisbury, we're calm with actually 43 degrees. We're going to drop to 41 with clear skies by 1 o'clock. Now, our umbrella giveaway winner, by the way, is Rick Broadbent of Lewes. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Our UV index actually going to be at a high level for tomorrow, though it's going to be cold. Don't let that sun fool you. Sponsored by, OC. Now, we take a look at our frost advisory. It's active for our area until 9 o'clock. Not only that, but we have gusty winds along the coast, so it's going to be cold and windy. That's all the way from Ocean Pines down to Chincoteague as well. By the way, you can get the latest on our forecast by calling our phone line. It's sponsored by Baird, Mandalas, Brockstedt, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling exclusive 10-day forecast. Remember, frost advisory till 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.